everyone. So we're going to start doing numbers bigger than 10 all the way up to number 20. Now we know that 20 isn't the biggest number in the whole wide world, is it? What's the biggest number in the whole wide world? There isn't one. Numbers never, ever, 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 ever stop. But 20 is usually about as high as we go when we're thinking about numbers in our class. We have learned all the numbers from 1 all the way up to 10, and some of you know some of the numbers that come after 10 as well. But we're going to be really thinking about those numbers over the next few weeks. So today's number is number, do you know this number? Have you seen it before? A 1 and a 1, 2 ones. 1 and 1 would make 2, wouldn't it? But this is the digit 11, number 11. Can you count all the way from 0 to 11? Do it with me now. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Fantastic. Have a go at counting to 11, but not starting at 0. So you could do this with your mums and dads and grown-ups at home as well. So if I said 5, I want you to start from 5 and stop when we get to 11. So let's do that one together. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Remember to stop when you get to 11 because that's the number we're thinking about today. So this is the digit. The digit is what the number looks like when it's written down. And you might remember when we were doing numbers 1 to 10, on our big board in our classroom, we've got all those ways that you showed those numbers, haven't we? So I want you to do that today with the number 11. So I'm going to do that now. I'm going to show you what I've done. See you in a minute. So I've done that now. I have got my piece of paper and found different ways to show the number 11, and I think you'll be able to do lots more than this. If you get a piece of paper and a pencil or a pen and show me the number 11 in lots of different ways. So I've done it here. I've done a birthday cake and it's got 11 candles on, somebody's 11th birthday. And up here I was drawing some little dots and I forgot to stop. So I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I did too many. Now we know if you do too many, you just need to take them away, and you show that by just putting a little cross through them, don't we? So I have 13 and I'd done too many, so I had to take away 2 to show 11. So I've showed 11 there. Another way I've shown 11 is with this part whole. Now, the numbers that come after 10 are all bigger than 10, aren't they? So all of these numbers are made with a 10 and some 1s. So the number 11 is made up of a 10 and 1 more. So 10 and 1 make 11. So I've shown that in a part whole model there. You can do this however you want. You might draw 11 people. You might do whatever you want. You've done this before, haven't you? Quite a while ago now, but you did it with all the numbers up to 10. So I want a piece of paper, you showing me the number 11 in lots of different ways. Don't forget, if you do too many, it doesn't matter. You can always take them away. And if you check back and you've not quite done enough, you could just add some more on, couldn't you? So I'd love to see your number 11 sheets of paper. With today's number 11 is get a collection of something. So I've got some pom-poms, but whatever you can find, whether you've got some buttons, some pennies, some Lego bricks, pieces of pasta, anything little that you can count. So I've got a big pile here and I'm going to count out 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So there's my 11 pom-poms. Now I've got my 11 pom-poms, I'm going to spread them out and see, you remember doing this with your 10 interesting objects before the holidays. Spread them out and see what groups you can see. So I've just spread mine out like that and I can already see we've got a 3, a 3, a 3, a 1 and a 1, and I didn't have to count them because we know what 3 looks like, don't we? So move them around again, see what other group so you can see, let me do it like this time. So I know that's 4, I can see that's 4. I think you'd be able to see that was 4 as well, wouldn't you? A 2 and a 2, so there's a 4, and a 3. So a 4, and a 3 would make 11. You can do lots of different ways like that. Just see what groups you can find in the number 11. So, oh, I've already done that one, haven't I? So this group here, I can see a 3 and a 2, and I know that 3 and 2 is 5, so I can see a 5, a 3, and another 3. 5, 3 and 3 would make 11. So just have a play around with 11 objects. See what different groups you can make, see what different patterns you can spot. Have a play. Another way we can explore these bigger numbers is using 10 frames. You all know 10 frames, don't you? And I think you might have got some 10 frames in your pack that I sent home with you. Don't worry if you haven't, because I've just drawn my own, so maybe you could get a grown-up to draw a 10 frame for you. Mine are a bit wonky, it doesn't matter, as long as your 10 frame has got 10 spaces. So we know that when a 10 frame is full, it's got 10 on it, hasn't it? And we use this in lots of different ways. But because these numbers are bigger than 10, they're not going to fit on one 10 frame, are they? You're going to need 2 10 frames. So we've got 10 there and 10 there. So all together, a 10 and a 10 would make 20. So if these 2 10 frames were full, we would have 20 objects. So I've got my 11 pom-poms here, and I'm going to put them into these 10 frames. Now we know the rules. You have to fill one 10 frame before you can start filling another one, don't we? You have to have one full before you start filling another one. So I'm filling this 10 frame with my pom-poms. Oh, and this one's full. Now I don't need to count, do I? Because I know that's 10. I know a full 10 frame is 10. Another way I can spot that's 10 is I can see 5 and 5, and I know that 5 and 5 makes 10. We don't need to count that, that's 10. But because our number today is 11, we've got 10 and one more. So I'm going to put the 1 on this next 10 frame. So there we have 11 on 10 frames, and I can see there that 11 is made up of 10 and so lots of things to do there with the number 11. You might think of your own games and things you can do as well, thinking about the number 11. Now, number 11, can't count it on your fingers because I've only got 10 fingers. I was going to do my fingers then. I've not got enough. I've only got 10. You might have to borrow somebody else's if you were counting to 11. Have a think about the number 11. I want you to think of some numbers that are smaller than the number 11. So pause the video now if you need to. Have a think. Have a think of numbers that are smaller than 11, less than 11. Have a think. Then I want you to think if you can tell me what would be 1 less than 11. You can use your objects if you need to. 1 less, we know that would mean to be taking away 1, wouldn't we? Can you tell me the number that's 1 less than 11? 11, pause it if you need to have a think. 11, I'm going to count backwards. 1 less would be 10. Now, if you want a clue to what our next number is going to be, have a think. What is the number that's 1 more than 11? So when you're counting after 11, what comes next? If you had 11 objects and I gave you 1 more, how many would you have? And that will give you a clue to what our next number is going to be. I'll see you on the next video.